Welcome, my love light lifers. Natty T here, your vibrational coach. Today, we are talking about reprogramming your mind. Sounds like something from the Matrix. No. Welcome to my returning subscribers, and of course, if you're here for the first time, welcome. So glad to have you all. Love to you all. Today we're talking about reprogramming. Like I said in the beginning, you'd like to think it's programming. It's not. You've been programmed. Every single stimulus that you encounter in this third dimensional reality programs you. As you focus on something, it is basically taken in by your senses and your mind will process it. Your mind will, doesn't matter what you want, it will come up with a conclusion. It may not tell you about the conclusion that it comes up with, but it will come up with a conclusion. And so this is what we liken to a program. So yesterday we were talking about triggers and how one word can send you from nice guy to tearing fixins off the wall, and this is part of a programming. And what we're going to be talking about is the programming that helps you to manifest 100 times faster. We're talking about the programming of core beliefs, reprogramming of core beliefs. In other words, you can believe that money's hard to make, but there are people out there who make money easily. So as a blanketed statement, it's not true. However, if this is something you believe, there is a good chance that you find it hard to make money. Coincidence? I think not. So really what's going on, what's happening here is that when we are presented with an argument, with something that we see, and our brain comes to a conclusion, we attract based on that conclusion our brain comes up with. And then when we attract that thing and see it again, we observe it, we think about it, we attract it. So then we observe it, we think about it, we attract it, observe it, think about it, attract it, around and around and around and around and around, until this becomes a belief. And if you do this enough on the most general subjects, a belief called a core belief will form. And these core beliefs are at the bottom or at the base of all of your beliefs. And if you don't shift these beliefs, because they are the most general and the most broad, they affect so many of our other beliefs. So, for example, a little while ago, my mum had this, she was doing some manifesting, she was learning more of attraction, and she managed to basically win the lotto every single week for I don't know how many months. Just every time I saw her, every time she bought a lotto ticket, she won. It got to the point where she just waited for the check in the mail. She never even would take her ticket to the, because she had a winner's circle card, so she wouldn't even bother taking her ticket to the counter. She'd just wait for the check to arrive. Now, the truth is that she's only winning anywhere between $20 and $40 at a time, but her belief that she could win the lotto was never in question. In fact, at one stage, I think my mum won about $600 in the lotto, which is more times, she's won the lotto more times in her life than most people think is even possible. But always wants a sort of smaller amount. And the difference is, it's because she has not got a very negative momentum, she's got a positive momentum when it comes to winning the lottery, which is actually where most people fall down. But The reason why it was never a large amount wasn't because she thought it was not probable to win the lottery. It was simply that she had a core belief that she would not be rich. That she could not get into that vibration of knowing what that frequency feels like. In fact, there was more negative momentum on money, on how much she had, versus how well she could imagine having money. It was always contradicted. And I'm not having to go at my mum because I love my mum, but the truth is we are all doing this in some shape or form. And a core belief is that belief that goes, hey, it doesn't matter if you can manifest the new job. And it doesn't matter if you can manifest winning the lotto. And it doesn't matter if you can manifest winning at the casino. It doesn't matter if you can manifest a high-paying job or make as many sales as you want. What it comes down to is this core belief of do you deserve, is it achievable to have this much money? Because you'll find that it doesn't matter. You can bring in $1 million in a week, but if you don't believe you can have $1 million, at the end of the week you will be broke, and you'll think to yourself, how did I bring in $1 million this week and I have nothing to show for it? That's how extreme it could be. But of course, if you're bringing in $1 million, how easy do you think it would be to switch, to pivot a thought and go, if I can bring in $1 million, I can clean up my finances enough to keep the $1 million from going somewhere. Especially if it's coming in on a regular basis. You can go, okay, before I do anything, I'm just going to hire somebody to come in. I'm just going to take however much it takes and hire somebody to come in and clean up my finances, figure out where all this $1 million is going every week, and to make sure that it stays in my pocket. It's easy to believe that, but it's not easy to do that when there isn't $1 million coming in. So the idea that I'm trying to sort of put across here with the reprogramming is to start to tackle the core beliefs. And the most core belief that you can tackle, that is at the core of all core beliefs, that will benefit you the most, that will have you manifesting 100 times faster, is the core belief that we are vibrational and that the law of attraction is constantly working. It's never not working. Everything is a vibrational match. Once you understand that when people are talking about string theory and 0-point vibrations and all that sciencey stuff, they're not far wrong. And if this universe is in fact made of vibrations, as some science may suggest, then there's going to be a law of physics that governs those vibrations and how they work and how they interact. That law of physics is the law of attraction, and it creates this reality that we are living in. And if you can get that belief right, then every time you go to shift a belief that sits on top of it, you can fall back knowing that if I shift my belief, I can have the thing. Because there's always that doubt that pulls us back otherwise. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I will see you tomorrow.